now to discuss the executive director of Texas Public Policy Foundation, Rob Henneke. Rob, good evening to you. A new Gallup poll is out, and it finds that most Americans are not satisfied with the level of immigration into the United States. 58% dissatisfied, 34% are satisfied. It's an 8% uptick in dissatisfaction since last year. And you see these videos and you see the dangerous scenarios that are being created. It's absolutely staggering what's happening at the southern border.
It is. Good evening, Jackie. Thanks for having me. It's something we see every day here in Texas. The southern border is wide open, and this crisis is caused by the Biden administration. But what's different now is that the cartels are even more emboldened, and they're now projecting force into the United States, where they're bringing fentanyl into our schools and violence into our streets and communities. Unfortunately, what you just saw is a daily occurrence happening here in Texas.
Yeah, and Bill Melugin brought up the at the end there, the meth that was hidden in those boxes, $19 million worth. We are seeing drug cartels profit and get rich off of the backs of Americans who are suffering as a result of this. I just want to bring this to our viewers' attention as well. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol officers in Memphis have seized 2,500 pounds of drugs since the beginning of the fiscal year. Most of these drugs from China, Mexico, and Brazil.
Well, that's right. And that's an important point to make, that it's not just an issue in Texas. Here recently, tragically, a 13-year-old girl overdosed in her school from fentanyl. The girl lived in Connecticut. Drugs likely trafficked across the southern border by the cartels, trafficked all the way up into the Connecticut community. So this is impacting schools and homes and communities all across the United States by what is just an overwhelming wave, where you had in January alone over 154,000 apprehensions along the southern region. Half of those individuals were simply released into the United States.
Yeah, and what keeps me up at night, what really troubles me, is the level of undocumented migrants that have crossed the border. 2 million last year, projected to be roughly the same again this year. Obviously, some people that are against this, for legal immigration, but against this, waiting for a regime change. But you say by the time that happens, Joe Biden's only been in office 1 year right now. It could be too late.
I've seen this firsthand from my trips down to the border and my role as a former Texas prosecutor. We can't sustain another 3 years. Here in the Del Rio sector alone, 1,000 migrants every single day are being apprehended. And this is during the winter months, when it makes it more difficult to travel. Spring and summer are going to show an even higher upsurge. Absolutely. Texas is doing everything it can, but we're not going to be able to sustain the next 3 years of this.
And the agents are overwhelmed and they want to do something about it, but they don't have the tools. Rob Henneke, thank you so much. Good to see you.